Everybody, and welcome in. I'm WUSA3 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty as we are tracking some severe weather here this afternoon with some new severe thunderstorm warnings that have been issued across the area. And so what we're going to be doing is letting you guys know, well, kind of what we're dealing with here. First off, this storm located here into portions of Moultrie. You've got Coles County affected by this, really kind of Shelby County here right now. It's a severe thunderstorm warning. It's in effect until 3:45 p.m. and it is moving here to the south and east. It may have winds of 60 miles an hour and maybe getting close to quarter-size hail with this. So we are tracking this as it moves to the south and east. And so what we're going to do is just kind of hang here with you and show you what to expect, kind of give you the wide view, because we've had a whole line of storms moving across here over the last few hours or so, and even back here into Champaign, some very loud thunder, some really heavy rainfall there from Tolono down towards Willard Airport, and then heading east to St. Joe. And so that whole area has just been getting hit really hard with very heavy rainfall. But now there is concern maybe some winds associated with our storm here. So from the Findlay area to Sullivan, just right there near Bethany, that whole area is of concern when it comes to the potential for some strong, damaging straight line winds with this activity here. So what we're seeing are some enhancements of the wind, and what we can actually do is look at those winds with our radar. And when we click in here and we're going to look at these red and green colors, okay? And so what we've got now essentially is in this area, just kind of south of Sullivan, south and west of Sullivan, this little area right here, the radar is indicating some stronger winds that are associated with that thunderstorm. So you've got 124 that hangs out right there, and then Highway 32. All of those areas right now are seeing that increased enhanced risk for possibly some 60-mile-an-hour winds with that. And so if you're looking down the line of Windsor and the Gaze area, you want to be on the lookout as that storm approaches Highway 16, of course, that comes through the Shelbyville, Windsor, Gaze area that comes up into Mattoon, that whole area. We're going to want to be watching for those storms as they move in. So several counties here under severe thunderstorm warnings at this hour, including Coles, Moultrie, and Shelby County. Let's put a little bit of a loop on this. You can see the general direction that this storm is going over the past 45 minutes. And there is that view of that storm very, very slowly actually moving there to the south and east. The latest movement from the National Weather Service is only at 20 miles an hour. So it's a slow-moving thunderstorm that has the potential to produce very heavy rainfall too. And that has been another key thing from this. We have just a ton of slow-moving thunderstorms across the area that are just dumping rainfall, and you're going to have flash flooding as an issue too. As a matter of fact, down in the Coles County area and also Shelby County, there have been flash flood warnings, but a new one actually just came out for portions of Douglas County, from Atwood down to around the Bourbon, Garrett area, maybe near Tuscola on the southwest portion of Champaign County. You also have seen some really heavy rainfall. So in this area right here, but right now the biggest concern with our severe thunderstorm warned cell that is located here in the Moultrie and Shelby County areas here right now. Also, we're seeing a ton of lightning with our storms here. Just a lot of lightning with all of this activity. What I can do is let's just throw on the lightning on here, and there's going to be just a ton of lightning strikes. Look at all of those lightning strikes that are showing up with this. So a highly electrically charged thunderstorm cell here that is producing this severe weather, and you can always tell the intensity of a storm, whether if it's weakening, if it's falling apart, based upon how much lightning is out there. And you can clearly see our little complex here that even stretches outside of the warned area. So down around Pana, Assumption, you guys have a lot of lightning. If you're on Lake Shelbyville, you need to get off of that right now if you know anybody that's out there, because this is a big storm with just an incredible amount of lightning. Look at all those lightning bolts. So what I'm going to do, I'm just to kind of give you some perspective. Those are lightning strikes over the last 15 minutes. I'm going to switch it so it's just lightning strikes over the last 10. Now I'm just going to do lightning strikes over the past 5 minutes. That is a ton of lightning to have in just a 5-minute period. When we actually take a look at this, we can draw a little box around it and guess how many lightning strikes there are. And you're looking at nearly 265 lightning strikes in the past minute. I mean, that is a lot of lightning there, just almost constant. And we can even take this to another level and just show you lightning strikes in the past 3 minutes. So look at all of that. I mean, this is just constant lightning down here. Stretches from Assumption to Shelbyville, the Findlay area. Bethany, you've had some lightning strikes, Sullivan there as well. But right now, the concern has been with the heavy rainfall, the lightning, and those damaging thunderstorm winds that could be in with this storm. And you can kind of see them right there. When I zoom back in, we're looking for the brighter colors of red, that little pink color there. And so those are indicative of, possibly those 60-mile-an-hour winds. So that's going to be right there along Highway 32. Now you're talking 32 coming out of Sullivan, between Sullivan and Windsor. In that area right there, you've got some really, really strong winds that could be in that storm. So you got Allenville here. Here's the Gaze area. And so we want to be on the lookout for potentially those damaging straight line winds. But I know a lot of you are watching us here, and you have had just an incredible amount of lightning and heavy rainfall. And so what I'll do is we are monitoring in the chat feed here, which is why we love to do this, is monitoring on the chat what you guys are seeing in your area. So I'm always curious, what do you have in your location? Tell us about what you've got. I've got the chat pulled up over here, and we'll be reading some of your comments here as well. Looks like we've got somebody that is in the Allenville area, which would be possibly getting ready to get hit there pretty good. So definitely take shelter over there. Again, you can see the warning box that stretches from basically the Findlay area, Sullivan, down towards Gaze, and Windsor. And so that whole little complex there has got that potential to produce some really strong gusty winds. Here's the thing, I can put a little bit of a storm path on this, kind of show you exactly where it's going. And so bear with me here, and we'll just draw a little track on kind of the leading edge of this and bring it down. Again, remember, it's barely moving, but these are, here's a list of the different towns here. You got Shelbyville here in just the next few minutes. Middlesworth, there's Mattoon down the line Strasburg. If it continues on the same path, so it's taking that very slow southeasterly movement with these storms. So that's kind of what we are looking at here with this. Here's the thing, it's rain, it's the heavy rainfall, the slow-moving storms that can cause flooding, it's the incredible amount of lightning, and then it's the occasional 60-mile-an-hour wind gust that you can get that can cause some major issues when it comes to severe weather with this system. So we need to be monitoring things carefully here, and we're going to see if we get any other reports from the National Weather Service concerning this severe thunderstorm warning, as they are monitoring the situation there as well. If you have any reports of any damage or anything from these storms, we're always very interested in hearing from you in terms of what you're seeing in your area, and if you've got some damage. So we always like to hear back from you guys in terms of your reports that you're getting in your area. Let's go ahead and take a look at, we will clear off all of this, just kind of reset things here a little bit, widen the view back out just to show you everything. So that's the big view. That's the wide view that we've got. We've got a lot of areas here that may not be getting impacted, okay? So let's just look at Champaign County here real quick, and Vermilion County. Yeah, there's some pretty good storms there. There's Ogden right now. Pretty strong storm there along I-74. Again, none of these are warned here in Champaign County, but some heavy rainfall there from Sydney, stretching down to Homer. And then getting down towards the Broadlands area, here's a little cell near Jamaica and the Maystown area. Here's another little guy down into Edgar County, just coming into Chrisman. Some very heavy rainfall there. There's just some light rain there in Charleston. Now, what I am going to do here coming up, I'm actually going to pull up our camera in the Mattoon area, and I should probably have a fairly decent view of the storm that's coming into the Mattoon area here in just a moment. We're going to be looking to the west here, but here's where the strongest part of the storms are, between Sullivan, Findlay area. That's where the severe thunderstorm warning is in effect here as well. stretching down towards Assumption, Tower Hill, and the Pana areas as all of these move to the south and east. Okay, let me see if I can't pull up our camera. Okay, so there's our camera from Mattoon. It's a Flooring America Casey Summers camera. You're looking at the storm that essentially is there to the west of Mattoon, kind of coming in there. You're seeing on the right-hand side of your screen. So that is a pretty good view of that little area that's coming in. And I will say this, there is the warning that's in effect there that includes kind of the Allenville, Sullivan areas. But I tell you, Shelbyville as well, there seems to be some fairly strong winds that are over there near Shelbyville as well. So just kind of keep that in mind. And yeah, this storm could come in line with Mattoon. If you are over in the Mattoon area here right now, I definitely, the storm is, still a little bit away from you. You can really kind of see it kind of coming in there from your north and west. You can see it there on the northwest side. And so that storm does have its eyes set on the kind of the Mattoon area here. So I would definitely be taking shelter there. You currently are, I believe, just on the edge of that severe thunderstorm warning. Yeah, you're actually part of the city's in it and part of the city's not, but that could get extended if that is the case. But that's kind of what we're looking at there. There's your storm. There's the view from our weather camera, and then we'll bring you back over to the current radar view of the storm and kind of look at it, because I want to show you this too. They did warn on this for winds over here, but I'm going to show you two areas of potential winds within this that could become an issue. So we're going to switch this over again to the velocity. And so I'm looking for these brighter pockets of pink in this case, the kind of pinkish red color there. And I'm actually seeing two of them. Okay, and you see it for your own eyes as well. So you've got a little area right here, but I'm watching this area here too. That's over just kind of west of Shelbyville, between Shelbyville and the Tower Hill area. That seems to be an area as well that probably has some stronger winds. So you definitely need to be on the lookout there. And then, as I mentioned, still kind of what we're seeing over here, just to the north of the Windsor area. So all of those locations, the potential for some fairly strong winds, just a lot of lightning. You cannot rule out some of that flooding with that as well. If you want to see those camera views that I was just showing you, the camera view from Mattoon, so we'll bounce back and forth, but this view is actually also on our weather apps. You can click on the WCA3 weather app, and there's a section on there for all of our cameras. If you just want to watch the camera view, we'll occasionally pop back and forth between these views. But if you want to, actually have that as well, pull it up on your computer or something, there is the views of all of our cameras there, for that matter, on the weather app. So I encourage you to go and check that out over there as well. Okay, let's see. We are going to go back to the radar now. And again, we are watching, let's see, some of your comments here. Thunder and Homer says, Angela, winds are picking up in the Gaze area right now, says Don. Yep, radar looks kind of nasty out there. Lori, you are correct. We live on the west side of Mattoon, front row seat, being hit by this thing, says Nicholas. All right, we're going to be watching it. And again, there's somebody that asked about the camera link there. Again, that's on our weather app, so feel free to go on there and check that out. So thanks to everybody for your comments, letting us know where you're watching from. I will say that I'm just going to zoom in on this. That looks like a pretty little cell there as well. That's going to be right there near Chrisman, the Edgar area, Wetzel. That little purple color is indicative of maybe even a little bit of hail in there. But right now, this is the highest area of concern that kind of we're looking at here as well. All right, so here again is the storm that's coming in. Urbana has standing water, and that's the thing I want to tell you. Carol talking about the standing water and the situation there. We've definitely got some very heavy rainfall from this that leads to really, really heavy rainfall. So just kind of keep that in mind. That flooding is also something from this. Fithian has lots of dark skies, very still. It's probably going to get a little stormier there before too long. Thunder in Danville there. Dan says a heavy rainfall there in the Sullivan area. And yeah, we can just kind of come back down in here. So you just had the heaviest kind of move through. So now Allenville is getting it there. Let's just go back here again. I'm going to go back to our velocity on this. And again, I got to tell you, that's an interesting area there to definitely be monitoring and watching carefully there as well. You start to get some of those reds and greens right next to one another, and definitely starts to grab some of your attention. There's probably some decent sized hail in there as well. I think right here, just west of Shelbyville, there's some pretty decent. I don't know, that thing probably is going to get warned here before too long, I'm guessing. That's a pretty strong storm there that might have at least some hail, especially when you look at some of these kind of purplish colors here. There's probably some hail in that storm right there. Okay, and that's going to be coming into the Shelbyville. Is anybody watching from Shelbyville? I'd be very curious to hear from some of you in the Shelbyville area as to what you're seeing right now as that storm approaches. Okay, there's our view again. You're going to start to take on this kind of shelf, kind of spaceship look as that shelf cloud moves in from our camera there in Mattoon. Heavy rainfall in Henning, says Karen. At the middle school there, Alice says, who's sitting there watching that come in. Yes, it is moving to the southeast. Cassidy, storm is moving to the southeast. So that's your view that you're getting as this thing comes just barreling on through. All right, we'll come back over to the radar here. So they've got a Southeastern Christian, Southwestern Shelby County, a special weather statement. So it's basically the level just, below a severe thunderstorm warning. But I got to tell you that I see the strongest part of the storm actually just out of the warning box. And this happens sometimes in these storms as well. I also want to make mention that we just did an update to our WCAIA3 weather app. So the new weather app, we just did some updates. It's actually really cool. Some great features on there. The radar feature that's on there is really helpful and does a lot for you as a customer out there. So we encourage you to download and or update it if you've not, because we have made some tweaks to it, but it does work really good. So I encourage you to do that. Okay, anybody out there in Shelbyville, let us know where you are at in the Shelbyville area. Let's see, it looks like we got one comment here. Shelbyville. A lot of lightning and thunder. I'd be really curious here before too long there, Courtney, if you are going to be getting any hail or not. That will be my question here in just a little bit is, are you getting any hail from that storm as it kind of comes across into your area? Severe thunderstorm warning continues until 3:45 p.m. A portion of the Coles, Moultrie, and Shelby County. Allenville right now, you probably have pretty good little storm on top of you. And then again, that area there near Shelbyville, just east of Tower Hill. We are definitely looking at a pretty strong storm there. One that we want to keep a close eye on in terms of the potential for some very, very strong, damaging straight line winds. That heavy rainfall, because again, keep in mind, these storms are moving so slow. But I just got to tell you, man, there's one area of this that definitely has my attention, and I'm just going to keep a close eye on this, is right here. I think there are some really strong winds here, and potentially maybe even a little bit of rotation in this here. We need to be watching this area carefully, okay? Definitely need to be watching that area here carefully, because we are getting some pretty intense returns coming into us here. I think there's probably some hail within that as well. But that area there, technically outside of the warned area, but I think there's some pretty strong winds that are right on the leading edge of this. So if you're down around the Clarksburg area, I would be on the lookout. I bet there are some very strong winds down there. So we're going to be watching that. Let's see if we got any other messages here. Okay, so there we go. There's the warning. Okay, so they just popped the warning exactly where I thought that they were going to. And there it is, as you can see. New severe thunderstorm warning does include Shelbyville, does definitely include the Clarksburg area. We want to be watching this area here. Careful. Those are strong winds. That just crossed over Highway 128 south of Shelbyville, southeast of Tower Hill. Those are, if we could just look at maybe and ask the radar here, what we can do is, it's called querying the radar, and we ask it, okay, what kind of winds are you seeing within this? And we're going to do that here and have it allow us to kind of see what we got going on. And so we're going to put on this velocity scope here as well, as you'll see those colors. And then as we click this, we say, okay, how much are the winds there? And so you're looking at maybe some 55 mile an hour winds. But if we click on another one of these little pixels here, 66 mile an hour winds possible there. So that's what we're seeing here on radar, right on the leading edge of this. Clarksburg, if you're in that area right now, you're about to get hit by some very, very strong winds, okay? All right, here's the thing. Let's see here. Sheila says, just lost power. Sheila, where are you at here? Sorry, I missed your comment as to where your location is. Sheila, what is your location right now? You said you just lost power. I would not be surprised because I think there are some very strong winds right in that area right now of Shelby County, where this new warning is in effect, 60 mile an hour winds. Sheila, let us know your location there, because it sounds like you might be really close to where this storm is. Sheila says she just lost power in her location there. We'll see where she's at, and I would not be surprised at all, because these are really strong winds associated with these thunderstorms, especially now that we're seeing here in the Shelbyville, just south of Shelbyville, south of Highway 16, right there, 16 and 128. You're talking about the Clarksburg area. That area right now is really getting it. Let's. I'm just going to click back over to real quick. The Mattoon camera not looking as impressive in that storm. Maybe weakened just a little bit from that aspect of things, but it is not weakening here in the area of Shelby County, just near Shelbyville. Clarksburg, you want to be taking shelter there. Some big time winds coming into that area that we are seeing here right now. I would not be surprised if we get some wind damage reports coming into us there. And so you're talking there east of Lakewood, you're going to be west of Strasburg, but Strasburg, you need to be kind of on the lookout there as well, as this line of storms comes barreling through your area. This is all moving to the south and east. What we'll do here is, again, put a little bit of again, all of this is moving to the south and east. And so we can put a little bit of a storm path on this to let you know where it's going. Let me see if the same speed is still there. It was at 20 miles an hour. It's basically essentially staying at that level, possibly even slower. But what we'll do is we'll kind of just draw right along all of this here, kind of take this down here to the south and to the east. And so here's a list of some of the cities, towns going to be impacted by this, hospitals there. So there's Stewartson, Strasburg 3:56, Cowden 3:48 p.m. And down the line, if this would stay together, then yeah, you're looking at Effingham here in about an hour or so. But we've got some very intense winds showing up here on radar. Some of the pixels that we look at. So we look at these little pixels that kind of tell us, okay, what is the radar seeing here? Now it is shooting a little bit higher up, but some of our indicators here offline that we look at are telling us that there are probably probably some 60 mile an hour winds that are definitely in there. Okay, let's see. Danville's lots of downed trees from several hours ago, says Troy. Again, anybody who's down in this area, I'd be very curious about as to what you're seeing. So what I'm basically referring to is going to be areas like, let's see here. You got Middlesworth, you got Clarksburg, you've got the Mount Herman Cemetery and the Howe Cemetery that are kind of down there. So yeah, I mean, you're eventually kind of looking here down towards Cowden. Let's clear all this off once again. And so just in this area right here. So you can see all the, Cowden, Clarksburg right now. I mean, that thing is coming, right in your area where we've got some of those strong winds. And we're kind of getting some loss of some radar data in here, but right on the leading edge of this line of storms, these are really, really strong winds that are getting kicked up. So anybody that's over there in the Clarksburg area, definitely be on the lookout. Okay, so if you were over there from Shelbyville, Strasburg, all those areas, Stewartson, kind of down the line, we want to be watching out for your area there for sure. And so that Clarksburg area, it's small, very small little town there, but you're about to have that. That's right over Highway 800 North. That comes into Crossburg, 2025 North, and 400 North. Those areas right there, as that storm kind of comes in, you're going to have that potential to see some really, really strong winds, okay? So I want you to be on the lookout there for that. Again, I had somebody asking about the Herrick area. Herrick is just off of my screen here. Sorry. And so technically you're in the corner of that warning, but the strongest part is well to your south and west. So this thing is basically, kind of moving southeast here. So that's why Stewartson, Clarksburg, the Fancher area, Cowden, those are going to be the areas of highest concern that we've got. So just, be on the lookout in that area there. You got Mode, small little area there from Mode over towards the Herborn area, just north of Stewartson, west of Highway 32. We want to be on the lookout. If you're west of Highway 32 and south of Highway 16, that's the area of highest concern. West of Highway 32, south of Highway 16, this is your area right here, and even kind of east of 128. That's your area of highest concern. That's the area that we're going to be talking about here. Will this hold together? We'll have to see. But as we bring this back out again, I'll put a little bit of a loop on this and show you where it's gone over just the past 45 minutes. So there's the movement of the storm to the south and east on a very slow clip. And actually, you can see we just had, this little guy that popped up here. Okay, so we got to watch that, and then we're going to kind of watch this little bit. See this little back guy that just formed here as well. So that's what we'll have to watch maybe over towards the Herrick area here before too long. Seth is watching from the Stewartson area, he says. So Seth, be curious as to what you get here in just a little bit in terms of, what the storms could be getting in your area in the next kind of 15, probably more like 30 minutes here because of just how slow the storm is moving. But we got to watch this little guy back here, watch this guy that's kind of formed as these cells begin to kind of merge a little bit. And again, I cannot stress enough just how much lightning we've got on these storms. So I'm going to click this, and it's going to cover up the radar view there. But look at all those lightning strikes. I mean, that is just a ton of lightning associated with our thunderstorms here. And this stretches from Stonington back down to Assumption, Moequa, Shelbyville. I mean, goodness gracious, that is a lot of lightning. And that is an indication of a healthy storm that we've got there. So north of Herrick there now, so there's Cowden, there's the Clarksburg area that I think is just getting pounded by winds. Eventually down the line, there's Stewartson. We'll see, Strasburg over there. That warning just ended. That first warning just ended over there for kind of Windsor, Moultrie County, Strasburg area. But you can kind of see just for the footprint of where that lightning is. That's all you have to do is just see where the lightning is, and that'll tell you, where the strongest part of the storm is. Okay, so let's switch that back off. And now we're just kind of looking at the radar view here. So as I mentioned, that warning is no longer in effect here from Windsor down to Strasburg. But you get over here, and here's Highway 16 I was talking about. If you are south of 16, you are basically west of 32. We kind of draw this and kind of between 128 here. That's definitely the area of highest concern for the strong winds. Slow-moving storm will obviously produce some heavy rainfall and obviously the lightning we just talked about. But that is the area that we are definitely keeping a very close eye on. It is 3:46 p.m. I'm WCI3 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty. Thanks for joining us here on our live stream as we talk about severe weather moving through parts of central Illinois here tonight, as we always do, to keep you guys updated on kind of what's going on across the area. Encourage you to download the WCA3 weather app to stay up to date with the very latest as well. A handy tool there as that storm comes in. Let's see here. I'm just going to read some of your guys' comments. I can't get anything done today, Melinda says. Her dog is super scared. But yeah, I need some of that rain out there. Let's see what else we got. Humboldt has some strong winds. Let's see here. Daughter's in I think she says Stewartson. Is that right? Strasburg. For softball game, they didn't cancel it. Well, they're hoping that storm rolls through and they can get it in, but it's such slow-moving storms. That's why I'm going to take another little view off to some other areas that are dealing with some storms right now. If you are near the Fairmount area, Jamaica, pretty good little storm there, and just east of Indianola and the Georgetown Ridge Farm area, going to be getting hit by that storm there. None of that is warned at this time. And then we've got, again, this one cell that continues to have severe thunderstorm warnings associated with it, and that stretches from Shelbyville down to Holland there. So what we have to watch for, again, are these brighter colors that are showing up with this. And so you're getting some indications right here, the leading edge of this, that those brighter pinks, those are your strong winds that we've got. So we're getting those strong winds here. And we're going to have to watch this area right here, just keeping a close eye on these little cell mergers begin to happen. We'll watch this right through here. Just keep a close eye on that storm. This summer, if there's anything that we've learned, it's that, you never say never when it comes to the potential for, a quick little spin-up tornado to occur. We've seen it happen so many times here that we would not be the least bit surprised if that would occur again. So you kind of have to take these storms seriously, especially when there are severe thunderstorm warnings in the area. If there are any reports of damage, if anybody has any damage reports, we encourage you to pass those along to us. You can email us, send us a message on the WCA3 weather app with a picture, a lot of different ways to do that. Okay, let's see here. I just want to check back where our cameras are. There's Mattoon. Still looks like there's a little cell. So yeah, you guys are getting a little bit of rain there now. Again, that storm is weakened a little bit from what it was earlier. So the Mattoon area camera, then we can click over to our Charleston area camera now. See what it's doing. Looks pretty similar. And so just a quick view, we'll do some cameras here back into the Champaign area. You can see the storms kind of coming to an end. We had a lot of heavy rainfall here a little bit earlier. Okay, back over to the radar. And again, because of the slow-moving nature of these storms, they are going to have that potential to produce flash flooding in many areas, so be careful there. But we're going to watch carefully this area of thunderstorm activity into Shelby County. That's going to go down into Effingham County here before too long as well, because this whole complex is moving southeast. So yeah, you got Fayette County, Effingham County, that's going to be impacted by these storms as they move to the south and east, okay? So just kind of looking down the line there, I mean, maybe it clips parts of Cumberland County, but as of right now, the area of highest concern there that we have found is right there from Clarksburg down to Cowden, Stewart's, and the Holland areas, portions of Shelby County there, moving to the southeast at a very slow clip, and that's kind of becomes the concern too, is you've got flooding, the flooding potential that is going on with this. They actually have flash flood warnings still in effect from earlier because of how much rain fell, and what we can actually do is show you that. What I'm going to do is switch off the radar view for the time being, and we're going to pull up our product that shows observed precipitation amounts in the area. And what we're just going to look at are just kind of the colors here. And we're going to find these little pockets of 4 inches of rain. That's going to be just west of Tuscola, and just east of the Atwood area along 36. That orange color is a 4-inch amount that occurred. And then here's another one down into Coles County near Paradise. And on the south side of Mattoon, that area got hit really hard. That's another 4-inch rainfall little area. And then, of course, all the rain that we are seeing just now between Assumption and north of Shelbyville, you're looking at maybe 2.5 inches in those areas there. So there's definitely been some heavy rainfall. Then back here into Vermilion County as well, Danville. Again, and that's just actually in the past 3 hours that we're looking at. If we actually take this and we would add in, what's happened over the past 24 hours, and then you're going to see some wild colors here that start to show up. We've got to let that data begin to come in. But then, you get more of that over here from all the rain that they had in Danville last night. So you've got that, and then more of that over here in those areas that have seen just a lot of rainfall, Bethany. And so you've got kind of a 2 or 3 different things that you're looking at here. You've got the flash flooding. You've got the incredible amount of lightning associated with the storms here that are, I think potentially have, caused some issues from power, hitting power poles or maybe hitting trees, taking out power lines. And so you've got that. And then on top of that, your winds, your 60-mile-an-hour winds associated with all these storms that continue to progress across parts of central Illinois from Shelby County, Clarksburg down to the Cowden area, Holland and Stewartson, all of that with severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect here. And that latest warning is still going to go for it because, again, remember the slow-moving nature of these storms, only at 15 to 20 miles an hour. With that slow-moving nature, you've got that major flash flood threat with this. Okay, reading some more of your comments. Flooding in Coles County, Chrisman, pouring there, rain and thunder in Newman, pouring again in the Mattoon area, thunder in the Gaze area as well. So several counties here still dealing with some pretty intense storms here this afternoon. Here's the wide view that we will give you, and we'll put the 3-hour loop, and you'll see how these storms have slowly just kind of developed here, moving across parts of Moultrie, a lot of them across Champaign, Vermilion County areas. As you kind of work your way north of I-74, there hasn't been as much in the way of activity. It's really kind of been south of I-74 or an I-72, and then down towards I-70 where those showers and thunderstorms have continued to impact areas that even last night got hit by storms as well. So when are we going to see a break from this? Well, this pattern doesn't seem to want to break a whole lot. We'll get back into the everyday chance of storms again tomorrow, into the weekend, even next week. And then we have to start watching for a potential tropical storm, remnants from what is going to be a hurricane that will become a tropical storm and actually could impact parts of Illinois. And that could come right around the end of next week. And talking Labor Day weekend. So there's a lot of weather going on here that we're going to be keeping a close eye on here over the next week or so, it looks like. So what is normally a typically slower time for us in the weather department has become a little bit more of an active time here as well. So we're watching our storm here. That is into Shelby County. They have just given a little bit of an update to that warning. Here's some good news for everyone involved, and I mean everyone involved here today. The severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Shelby County, they have gone ahead and I think they're going to allow that to expire here at 4 o'clock. So that is going to go away, and we are going to see, again, the storms still have the potential to kick up these strong winds. We're kind of in that time frame between now and, say, 7 o'clock where severe weather oftentimes can occur, and the max heating of the day, tapping into some of that energy. So areas into Effingham County, Clark County, Cumberland County, I think you guys are still under the gun for some additional severe thunderstorms as we go throughout tonight. So I encourage everybody to tune back in here with us at 5 o'clock. We're going to have more on the newscast there. If any other warnings get issued, we'll pop on here and tell you about them. If you've heard any damage reports, I encourage you to send those over to us here as well and let us know what you've seen in your area. Again, the WUSA3 weather app, you can track the storms on there. The latest radar views, it also has shows on there for you where the warnings are. Those notifications can come across to you. So if you've not downloaded or at least definitely done the update, you need to do the update on that. And once you do that, then everything will be nice and good. And we'll cover this today. I am seeing a little bit of a weakening trend on that, so that's definitely some good news, but definitely look out for the heavy rainfall, the flooding, and still lots of lightning with this. All right, so for now, we'll sign off, and we'll keep you guys up to date if any other warnings get issued. Go to the app for much more, and thanks for joining us. This has been severe weather coverage affecting parts of central Illinois here on this Thursday, August 26th. Have a good rest of your afternoon.